One of my favorite things to do when I'm making Halo mods is work on dropships. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, dropships are just like... Well, what's so special about them? You know, what's so special about them? Well, I don't know. I just like big vehicles that drop off troops and, you know, can pick up other troops and stuff like that. And I've always liked to fly them around. But I always found it was kind of boring just to use the same dropship over and over again. I really liked when Halo Reach ended up using the Spirit and the Phantom to drop off troops, and the Falcon and the Pelican for the UNSC side. So when I was working on Paradise Panic, I wanted to have other dropships, especially because the whole point of the mission was the Lich. Dropships are pretty useful as a tool because it allows you to spawn in enemies without having to have them pop out of nowhere. In a lot of games, when it comes to enemies, especially in modern day, they kind of just pop out of nowhere and with no any explanation. And I'm not a fan of this, and neither was Bungie, which is why they made dropships. It adds to the immersion and believability of the universe when you actually see the vehicles being dropped off instead of just spawning in. So in Paradise Panic, I also wanted to extend this to the other vehicles. Like the Falcon, for example, it will drop off troops at the beach assault. But I also wanted to extend it to the ground vehicles, like the Troop Hog, because I thought it should have been used to drop off troops. Now, in the original Halo trilogy, you didn't really see this. This is because it's really inconvenient to use ground vehicles as dropships, and I'll show why. But I managed to make it work here due to the way the terrain was made. And then I also had the custom Phantoms. And I also had the Lich drop off some Banshees because that was more epic and gave more use to its appearance than, you know, just the Banshee spawning out of nowhere. It introduced the Lich in a unique way and showed you what it was capable of. So going into my next mod, the first thing I wanted to do was get the Shadow in because, you know, friendly dropships, friendly Troop Hogs are cool enough, but having a friendly Shadow, you know, that's a complete step up. So I tried to do that. And as you can see here, it works pretty good, but it has a 50% rate of failing when it comes to dropping off troops, and that's the problem with it. There's still a lot to iron out with it. Because, you know, it's not as simple as just when, you know, you have to take into account how this vehicle can come into the arena and go out. The dropships can just land and go out. And that's why they are so simple, but they worked effectively. I didn't just keep it to the Shadow either. Because this level's inspired by Combat Evolved, I had the Spirit. Now the animations don't work for me for whatever reason, but this is the one footage I actually have of them working, and if I can get them to work like this, it'd be great. But, you know, using the Spirit gives a little more variety, and it allows for a more simpler scripting, because the Phantom requires a lot more scripting to get to work. And I also didn't just keep it to just troops. I had the Albatross from a script that was made for it, the tag files, to deliver the boat off. And this is a much better way of getting the boat to the player than just having it be there or just spawning it in out of the blue. Kind of like how Infinite has those weapon pads. You know, it's better just to have, you know, it get dropped off, at least in campaign, I would say. Which they do have in Infinite, but I'm talking more of those multiplayer things, which in multiplayer is a whole different thing. And sometimes, when it comes to making dropships, sometimes you can kind of just, you know, mess around and make something cooler. Like this Phantom, for example. It drops the vehicles out of the side and have Ranger at least come out the back, which uses the unused back part that you see in the Phantom in a lot of these games. And not only that, I even went through the effort of making you be able to go inside it and just kill the driver. There's no real reward to this unless you just want a free energy sword, but, you know, it's just kind of, if you want to feel like Vale in Halo 5 and the opening cutscene, I guess you can now. And I just thought this was just a cooler way, and also it requires less scripting. But yeah, it's just me being lazy just made something cooler. I didn't even want to just keep this to ground and air vehicles. I thought it'd be cooler to have it as water vehicles too, to make more use of the sprites. Kind of have them drop down to ranger elites like they're scuba gear guys on a mission. You know, it gives more use to them, and if you have the boat still alive, you can have even more battles going on. Of course, I eventually want to make a troop carrier boat, but I think it works pretty decently like this. Now, when it comes to how this all plays out, it just makes the experience more unique. Like, in Paradise Panic, having the Banshees come out of the Lich, you know, like I said, it gives more power to the Lich, it makes it cooler. In this mod, the Desolate December, it kind of will make things a little more, you know, hectic, because with the Shadow coming in, it, you know, will ram in there, it'll drop off the troops, and it'll go out of there. And while that's happening, you also have to keep track of the boats in the river. So, I'm going to show you guys how it all plays out in the bridge segment, because I thought it'd be cool to kind of show you what I have done on it, and, you know, because I'm really proud of it. So, I'm going to turn my mic off, and I'll let you guys enjoy and watch the show. And, yeah, that's it. So I guess after this you'll pretty much have another, like, boat come in and they'll be like, oh yeah, now it's time to assault the ship. And then that leads to the final section of the mission, but of course I have a lot to iron out here because I'm still having trouble getting the shadow to properly pathfind, as you can see. I do not know why it just decides to, like, turn over here. It just decides, oh, okay, I'm just gonna turn. And, of course, I want to add some actual weapons here so the player can defend themselves, because, you know, you kind of run out of ammo and you don't got anything left, and it's kind of, you know, overwhelming, because all you get are plasma rifles, and, you know, so, which it won't really be helpful against stuff. So yeah. Now we'll let you, the player, have another, like, water segment to use here. So yeah, I'm almost done this section, and we'll go to this section next. I can't wait to do it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this demonstration of dropships.